In this tutorial, we are going to use the zigzag effect to create a buttonhole. So now we remember from previous tutorials how to create our button that has a compound path. And remember, with the compound path, that will allow us to color in the button itself, but leave the white space or the space that should be punched out for the buttonholes. Now with my line segment tool and holding shift, I'm going to create a rectangle. I'm using my line segment tool because I do not want the corners to be attached. I don't want it to be a continuous path. So that means if I use my selection tool, I would be able to move each of these line segment pieces apart. Another way to achieve this would just be to use your rectangle tool and draw out a rectangle, and then use your scissor tool to cut the corner. So you would just make one click on each of the corners, and that will allow you to separate each of these different line segments into their own separate line. Now with my selection tool, I'm going to select just the top and the bottom line, and I'm going to go into Effect, Distort, and Transform and choose Zigzag. First, I'm going to select the preview button so I can see it live in action as I move my slider. So I want to reduce or increase the size of my zigzag and also adjust the amount of ridges per segment until I get the desired effect. Now I can press OK and go back up to your menu and go into Effect. You'll see Zigzag is saved here at the top because it was the last effect used. And now do that same thing to the side, to the left and right line segments. And in this case, you'll see I have to reduce the amount of ridges per segment because the line segment itself is a lot shorter. Now let's select the buttonhole, all the pieces of the buttonhole, and group them together and place it over near my button and arrange it and send it to the back. I can also then select both the buttonhole itself and the button and align it so that it's perfectly matching in the center. Now the last thing, let's add this to my symbols palette so that we can use it in the next video. You can choose movie clip or graphic. It actually doesn't matter here, but you can give it a name. And then once you're done with that, you could press OK, and there you have it, a buttonhole with your button converted into a symbol.